Hello, everyone. Welcome to Titanic Failure Tuesday, where we showcase the games that were promised to be greatness. Hello, everyone.
Hey everybody, I'm happy to announce Geico's sponsorship of Team Solo Mid. They could save you hundreds on car insurance.
We'll get underway. Tonight, we're going to be covering No Man's Sky. We'll talk about what was promised versus what we got, whether the game is worth your money today, and you can interact with us. Don't forget to tell us in the Twitch chat what you'd like to see us do or what you'd like us to name planets, animals, etc., and we will do it. So, first off, right now I'm in a space station. I had ducked in here because as I was setting up, of course, pirates came and attacked me, so let's talk about the graphics. I actually like the graphics of this game. I think they're not phenomenal, but they're not horrible. I'm going to get in my ship. We're going to blast off. So originally when this game was announced, we got promised a world of infinite possibilities, which is true, and that is in the game. However, some things were not there. Kind of like the fact that if I go down to this planet, which I'm about to do here by engaging my hyperdrive system, one of the things that you're supposed to be able to do is a lot of different missions, but in reality there's only about 10 different things you can do on a planet's surface. One of the big things being mine minerals, just like I did there. I got a lot of thamium. But the game was all about exploration and making your way to the center of the universe. What we got, instead of limitless possibilities, is actually a bit of a survival game with elements of RTS games, real-time strategy games. The big thing about this game is all about management and inventory space. So most of the time you're not even fighting against the elements or pirates or anything along those lines. You're instead just fighting against how much space you have in your inventory. Whether or not you actually need upgrades for suit, for guns, for ship. So if I open my inventory right now, just to give you an idea, sorry, hitting the wrong button. There we go. So here's my ship. I can see already I've got a 24 slot ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like something's damaged. 10, 11, 12. 12 slots on my ship. Half of my ship is taken up by inventory items. And so I can repair. There we go. So as I want to get a better pulse engine or a better hyperdrive to be able to jump further and further, that's going to require me to get more things to install in that area. So that's just not the best. And then your suit's the same way. Eventually you'll start dealing with that. A lot of bugs in the game to start with. They've slowly been ironing them out. Not so many crashes as there used to be. But the game loop is basically the same. It's go to a planet's surface, discover things, mine minerals, sell them, move on to the next place. And in the beginning, that is a very, very compelling gameplay loop. However, as you get further and further into the game, and you do that for 30, 40, 50 hours, you realize that all the planets are pretty much the same. They may be a different color, but they're pretty much, what you're going to find on them is pretty much exactly the same. So I'm going to initiate a landing. And we'll go take a look, take a little stroll. So this is a toxic planet, I believe. So I can name this. Oh, this is actually a marker for a civilization. So let's see what language we got here. Corvax. So I learned a couple Corvax. I'll learn a couple Corvax words here. So you interact with these stones and you begin to learn various bits and pieces of language. That's one mechanic in the game. All that really does for you is as you interact with aliens later or their monoliths that they've left behind, you can try and put together some context to answer things correctly. That's really about it. It doesn't do anything in a material sense for the game. So here I'll interact with this ruin. So in this one, as an example, it simply says calm. So I have the word for calm. So my guess is that I should wait it out. I'm basically it's telling me there's metal spiders. I'm seeing a vision. You don't get to see any of that, but you get to figure out what the context is. So I'll say wait it out. Hallucination fades. I pass some sort of test, and a reward materializes. And it's probably going to be more technology. Let's find out. My standing with Korvax is increased. And if I receive something, I learned the Atlas word for continue, and I got an item that I can now go sell somewhere. So this is kind of the gameplay loop. Various minerals I'm going to want to mine as I'm on a planet. Like I can tell you already that thing right there, even though I've never seen it, that's going to produce carbon. I can actually come in and destroy it to get it that way, or if I want to, I can scan it. And now I have the ability to upload that. I can shoot it and mine it, and look at that, carbon, just like I said. So you'll find that there's about 7 different things. There's iron, carbon, there's going to be plutonium, iridium. So the things I'm looking for right now power my ship. So crystals like these, this is going to be either emerald or aluminum or gold, and it's emerald. So emerald sells well, so I shoot that and bring it on with me. And look, there's the one I was looking for, plutonium. And off I go. Now these are sentinels. They represent the one constant kind of life form in the game. They're really annoying, and you can kill them pretty easy. So he doesn't like the fact that I'm blowing stuff up here on the planet's surface. If I keep doing it directly in front of him, there's a good possibility that he will start attacking me, in which case I would defend myself. But seeing as there's nothing very interesting at this area, I will go on. So it becomes, again, resource management, kind of like what we were talking about. So from here, I say, hey, you know what? I just used 25% of my fuel on my launch thrusters to lift off, so now I'll refuel them with the plutonium I picked up. And you rinse and repeat, looking for interesting things on the horizon. So here, right here, I'm going to land because it looks like we've got a big old pocket of emerald. I mentioned emerald is valuable, so it is indeed a big pocket of emerald. So now I'll spend my time mining it. Now there are a lot of things that the game does not tell you. One of the best things I can tell you, if you are interested in mining, you want to use the scanner and watch those blocks. If they extend down into the ground, that means you can do subterranean mining as well and still get minerals. A lot of people will just mine the stuff on the top and that's it, and away it's going. Physics, as you can see, don't work. Rocks will float in the air. That's another thing that we were promised but did not get. So I guess the question, which we can tackle now, I know we're only about 7 minutes or so into the stream, but the question is this game worth your money? And that's a really hard question to answer. I enjoy the game. This process or gameplay loop of mining material and then selling it to further my exploration of the galaxy, I enjoy it very much. Does it get a little tedious sometimes? Yes is the answer. Especially when you have, like, for example, these little pieces hanging in the air that you actually need to continue to fill your inventory space. And that was 2 pieces of emerald. So again, it's you know, what do you like to do in a game? I think this is a perfect game for setting a podcast on in the background, or possibly even watching TV. If you've got multiple monitors, you can do it that way. The gameplay loop is not going to be for everybody. I'm kind of one of those OCD people, so now I'm like, oh, I know that there's one emerald pocket, there must be more. I need to go find them and fill up all of my inventory space with this valuable mineral so that I can then go and sell it in order to make it farther in the universe. But not everybody may appeal to that. It's kind of a slow game pace, and gameplay loop. Some planets, the Sentinels are very hostile and they'll attack you all the time. Other times they're not. So it really kind of just depends on the planet. The atmosphere, this is actually really... I thought this was going to be a toxic planet, but apparently not. So I'm not having to deal with any extreme cold, poison, extreme heat, which are all handled identically. So that's kind of one of the things that a lot of people were upset with, was we were supposed to see a real difference in planets, but in reality they're all pretty much the same. You'll get the same resources on each one. It's a little frustrating in that some people myself included, thought the game would be a little less hand-holdy, a little less easy, but instead it's pretty doggone easy. It's pretty hard to die, unless you do something really dumb, like attack 6 pirates with your one shot. Alright, so I have depleted yet another resource. So again, congratulations, welcome back to Resource Management 101. So now I can actually scroll through my items here, and I can see my life support is down, so I should probably recharge that with some of the carbon I picked up. And then I also need to recharge my weapon. So we'll do that as well. Some plutonium. And back up we go. So at this point, I could stay here, I could go. You may have noticed some pop-in. That happens a lot. And one of the things that I absolutely do not like with the game, I'll show you in just a moment. Let's jump in the ship here. Not sure it'll do it on this particular run through, but let me take off quickly. A lot of times what will happen is you'll actually see those things, those mining resources like I just went to, show up, and they will show as if they're not mined, but in fact they are. So this is a save point. I've now marked this area as discovered. I can name it. There are various resources I could pick things up if I wanted to, but I really don't. This is what I actually came for. There might be somebody in here. I might be able to talk to them. I might be able to get something, some tech. Piece of tech. Oh, nope. I just uploaded some data and increased my standing. There we go. I've already know this tech, so that's not useful to me. So at this point, why I stopped here is this guy right here. This is a beam that you can use to locate other things on the planet. So it requires a bypass chip. I think I have some in my inventory. Let's find out. Inventory. That's the ship. And I do not. So I'll have to make one. So let's see what we need to make one. So I come here and I say, hey, I want to craft a product and a bypass chip. I have what I need, which is plutonium and iron. So I'll make one. And then I simply walk up to this beam. And it gives me a choice, 4 different things. So let me help you with what you want. So transmissions will help you find down ships. Shelters will help you find basically drop pods that allow you to expand your inventory. Since that's one of the most difficult parts of the game, you can actually sit on the starting project planet and do this over and over and over again until you max out, assuming you've made enough money to do so. So I'll actually choose shelter. Let's see if we get a drop pod. And look at that, drop pod detected. Now I can also see that there is a big thing of mining over there that I can go pick up. So let's check that out as well in my ship. See, and you can see there's the one I mined right before, and it looks like it's completely there, but once, if I were to actually fly towards it, let's do that. I'm gonna fly right towards it. And you can see that drawing effect as I get closer. Even to right now. Maybe this is a different one? Let's see. I don't think it is, because there's that pillar again. And ta-da, it's gone. So I've wasted my fuel at this point, if I hadn't known about that, to get in here and get that. So that's very, very frustrating. It's one of the things I hope they fix. So let's refill my ship's fuel. There we go. And let's head to a drop pod. So we know there's a drop pod right over here. I can boost to get there a bit faster. And we'll set down right by it. So I've got another area that I can discover at this point, which I've just done. The game is now saved. And I will go ahead and jump into this pod. So this is why you need money. I've got 3.5 million units. It's cost me 240,000. And it increases by 10,000 each time. So next one will cost me 250,000, etc. And you can see you can burn through money really quickly, which is why I'm going to go over here and mine that egg. Now sometimes they won't be eggs, they'll actually be columns like this, and they extend deep into the ground a lot of the time. That one does not. You may be saying, why am I not getting Iridium? I have plenty. I don't need it. Emerald, and there was that pop-in effect again. Emerald is actually what I'm looking for, because it tends to sell very well across the galaxy. So you don't have to worry about any kind of physics type thing. So for example, if I'm in here and I start blasting this way and that, the whole thing's not going to collapse on me. In fact, I could carve out this entire section. I'll do it just for effect here. Ta-da, I am not paced. So that's really one of the big problems of the game, is that physics do not work. One of the first times I played, I actually landed my spaceship on a tree, didn't know it, got out, couldn't get back up to the ship. Now you do have a jetpack. It's very limited in its scope. I've upgraded mine, but even so, you know, it's a case where especially if you're just starting out, that can be really annoying. And I shot the tree that my ship was on, thinking it would fall afterwards. It would not. So that made it even more difficult to get up to it. So physics are definitely not in the game, except for you. You have physics, but nothing else does. So again, you could probably see that if you don't like mining things, this might get a little old. And even the rest of the gameplay loop, like I said, you know, I found that drop pod. Great. Now I've got a little more to work with in terms of inventory space. But now what I'm going to want to do is sell all this emerald to recoup the money I lost on buying that slot for my inventory. This is about good. I'm about done mining this. It's actually quite a bit in this one. But let's go. Let's go back to the ship. You spend a lot of time running back and forth from your ship and anything else. A lot of time boosting over different things. Apparently can't mine those. I will say the interesting thing is you can deform just about any terrain. I don't know if these will work. Yep, it will. So I can use grenades to, if I need to, if I'm on a hot planet or a cold planet, and I'm really, like, there's a storm and it's totally killing my shields, I can actually just point at the ground and tunnel into the earth. You can find caves that way. So yeah, I mean, lots of different things. And then, of course, now I've got to jetpack out. So I could spend my time on the planet's surface here looking for, you know, a trading post or something along those lines to sell this stuff at. And I might do that, but probably not. What I will probably end up doing is just warping back into space. And the nice part is it's seamless. Once I'm in space, which I'm leaving this planet's atmosphere now, I could just fly directly to that planet and go to it. Attack ships are... Where are your attack ships? Probably gonna die. Not that that really means anything, to be honest. Try to lose them before I die. Yep, and then I die. So, as you can see, I respawned on the ship. Anything that was in my ship is now gone. And all my cargo for my ship is gone, but you'll notice that all my emerald and things that were on my person are indeed here. I can go pick them up, and I will momentarily. But let me go ahead and sell this emerald first. So these are galactic trade terminals. It does show me some information here about how much on-foot exploration I've done, how many people I've encountered, aliens I've encountered, how many worlds or words I've collected, the most amount of money I've had at any one point in time, ships destroyed, sentinels I've killed. I'm pretty high up there. And then other kind of stats. So I'm going to sell from my inventories. And we're going to sell, of course, the Korvax casing. I can see that it doesn't sell as much here as it does on other places, but I don't care, because I don't want it in my inventory. And Emerald sells a little bit less here as well, but I don't care. It automatically paid for the cost of my upgrade to my suit, so I'm good. So while we're here, we'll talk to this guy who looks like Daft Punk. So Korvac convergence is the only thing I know out of this one. So he wants something. Let's give him the scan data. Yeah, I made a 33% chance correct thing. So here's a thermic layer tau hazard protection suit that upgrade for my suit. I could install that if I so desired. I really don't desire, so there you go. And since I've not been on this space station, I happen to know that once you craft these things called Atlas passes, you can use a level 1 Atlas class to get into this other door in the space station. And there will be a suit upgrade for me here. So this is kind of the interesting thing, is it's every space station is the same. You can expect find the same things. Kind of like the planets, you can expect to find the same things there as well. So let me get back to my ship. It's here somewhere. There it is. And I'll blast off. So now you can see clearly marked on my map is Grave. I will arrive in 11 minutes to that area. There are probably still bad guys there, but I'm just going to go ahead and pulse drive there to get there as quickly as possible. And I just picked up all my stuff. And now I can leave once again. So, how do we leave from here? You may ask yourself. Well, that's where... Why, hello, Matt. Maybe. I am not hearing you, Matt. Oh, there we go. I can hear you now. Yes. Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you either.
You don't hear me?
Oh, there we go. I'm hearing you. Yes.
Well, you hear me on the stream. You just don't hear me in your PlayStation headset, I take it?
I'm not hearing you either. You don't hear me? I'm hearing you through the stream, not through the chat.
There. I bet you hear me now.
Yes. Now I do.
Yeah, that's because I was... Yeah. So, I can scan this star system by pressing L3. It may show me something on another planet somewhere. I can see there's a space station ahead of me. But I can also hit a button to go to the star chart. So, Matt, you said one of the upgrades is, or one of the new things in one of the patches is that you can see how far you are from the center of the universe.
Yes.
And how do you do that?
It's the distance to the center. It's the third
Ah,
down on your thing.
so I am wait, is that right? Yeah, I am 17,000 light years. No, 173,000 light years, which still is not actually
That's
that
like
far.
that's like our distance to the center of our galaxy.
Yeah, that is not that far
Or
at
no, wait a
all.
minute. That's the diameter. That's like the diameter of our galaxy. Yeah, yeah. I have the wrong number. That's like the diameter of our galaxy.
So, what I'm wondering is, I guess I can just follow the path to the galactic core for right now until I um, find something else, I guess. I'm looking for anomaly or something along those lines. Let me see how far I can actually get. So that's 3 segments. Nope. I can get 3.5 segments. Nope, 3 segments. So let me go back. I'm apparently not going back. I'm apparently still going forward. The star chart, not necessarily the easiest to navigate sometimes.
Yeah, if you hit circle and then triangle, I think it is, that you circle disengages you and then triangle takes you back to the system you're in, if I recall.
So, Matt, you've also spent a goodly amount of time with No Man's Sky. I've kind of been talking about some of what was promised versus what we got, trying to explain the gameplay loops. What input do you have? What are the pros? What are the cons for you?
Um, I think, well, my experience, I think, differs from yours because I play a lot more casually than you do. So for me, it's a good, I get a couple 3 hours in whenever I get to it, and it's met for me a decent amount. The amount of time to get to a new star system, scan stuff, pick up some resources. I just in my last playthrough got to my first Atlas waypoint and then my first anomaly. So I'm still fairly early in that idea part of the game. Um, there were definitely some frustration points that have been there. I'm more frustrated with the bugs. Like, before the last patch, you couldn't scan anything that was flying. Now you can scan flying things without killing it first. The falling through stuff has been fixed, so there's no more falling through stuff, or at least much less falling through stuff. I haven't seen any falling through stuff recently. Um, so for me, it's still fun. I still find it enjoyable. I've come across more varied planets recently. One of the planets I was on, I found a feathered jackalope, and that's what I named it, a feathered jackalope. Um, there was no jackalope with a feather tuft on its back. Um, so still, I I'm a type who I generally tend to not believe the hype. I tend to believe that the hype is probably about 200% of what reality will end up being, at least. So I guess I wasn't as disappointed when all the things weren't perfect or weren't quite the way they were portrayed initially necessarily.
Mm.
But it while it definitely is not what was portrayed, especially early on, it's gotten a lot. I mean, I don't think Sean needs to learn to control his mouth. That's a problem, obviously.
She referring to Sean
Um,
Murray, the one of the
Sean
creators.
Murray, yes, head of the studio, um, and and that he needs a PR guy at his hip at all times. Um, But do I think that they had wild ambitions for the game? Yes. Do I think Sony told them, dude, you have to put something out? It's been 3 freaking years.
Yeah,
Yes, I think they did. But having said that, I still find it enjoyable. Again,
and so that's kind of what I was
three
trying
hours
to.
bursts.
That's kind of what I was trying to preface with all of it is, the game's not going to be for everyone anyways because it's a slower paced game, a lot of resource management. But I think if you are into that, then there is something here. I also really think that this game is going to look materially different at the end of a year to
Oh
2
yeah.
years than what it is right now.
I mean, just the first 3 patches have squared a lot of things up. You know, the computer still likes landing you on top of trees. You immediately fall out and take damage. The giant pillars of resource now leave way less pieces behind.
Nah, I don't know.
You know, they used to leave.
I've been playing with those, and it's less, but it's still a lot.
Well, okay, maybe it depends on how you mine. The way I mine them, it doesn't leave very much behind. So there may be something to, you know, the approach you take in how you take down the pillars.
Did they fix
But again,
the
yeah,
horizon bug
which one's the horizon bug?
where you're looking at a trading post and you're rocketing towards it, and it says it's going to take X amount of time, but then in reality you have to orbit out to space?
Yeah, no, that one hasn't been fixed yet. That's got to do with, for some reason, it's seeing the linear distance through the planet and calculating the time that way rather than calculating the circumference of the arc you have to travel.
Which is exactly what I'm dealing with right now.
So yeah, you basically launch yourself up into orbit and then pulse out to the beacon and then dive bomb it. That one, so that bug's still there. The launch into orbit bug is gone now.
Oh, that's good.
So no more accidentally launching into orbit and usually smashing into a bunch of asteroids along the way. There were a lot of bugs listed in the fixed list that we posted earlier today that I had never even encountered. So I can't really say whether they're gone now because I never really encountered them to start with. So, but I spent a fair amount of time, not a lot of time, but maybe hour and a half grinding money to buy a bigger ship. That seemed reasonable to me. One thing I found out from a person who was watching my stream is the abandoned ships you find are always either one slot bigger or one slot smaller than your ship. So once you get to a reasonable size ship, anytime you find an abandoned ship, it's got a 50-50 chance of being one slot bigger than what you currently have.
Right.
So once you get to a big enough size, it's actually more economic to just find the crash ship, fix it up, and go, and then find the next crash ship and fix it up and go, and find the next crash ship and fix it up and go.
Which is definitely where I'm at. All right, so basically the only reason I stopped on this planet is because I'm out of fuel. Again, resource management 101. So
yeah, now watching the stream, this is one of the things that still is disappointing. While I have come across more varied environments recently, they're still entirely too similar.
Yeah. Oh man, I got 3 of these things. What am I missing then here? I'm missing antimatter. What do I need for antimatter? I need iridium and zinc.
Need
I
the
said
vapor.
I had plenty of iridium earlier. Lying. So I need to. Is that a giant iridium thing? Kind of looks like it.
Could very well be.
Kind of looks like it.
And thamium, so if you don't have thamium, just hop up into orbit and start shooting asteroids.
Well, apparently it's not iridium.
Oh yeah, okay, it's got a thing on the top. That's weird.
Yeah, it is
Like
weird.
a stone tree.
Oh, my ship's all the way up there. And there's no dog whistle for your ship. There should be.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk to one of the posts that has the landing beacon, you can summon it, but you have to know where one of those is and be able to walk there. Yeah, losing track of your ship is a bad thing.
Yeah,
The only time it really comes into play is when you're underground, but still, it's a bad thing.
so that looks like there might be no. Well, at least this has a couple features like this thing. I've never seen that before. These little monolith. Wah! Drawing almost killed me.
Which I'm watching. Oh, the green ones. Is that what you're
Yeah.
looking? Oh
yeah,
no, the
I'm not
things that
seeing
kind of
those
look like.
those.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Those are. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. Well, I've seen the arches. But
Another
not with
weird
the
thing
trees.
is that your ship really can't affect much.
Yeah, it pretty much prevents you from crashing into anything other than
Well, no,
asteroids.
not even that, but I can't mine with it, which seems
Oh,
rather
yeah,
silly.
that's very frustrating. For the big pillars of stuff, it's like, yeah, why can't I just hit it with my mining laser?
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to
Yes,
fly
your
around.
little tool can destroy the world and the stuff, but your giant ship's
Yeah,
guns
giant
can't.
ship lasers. Nope! It's not gonna happen. I'm looking.
Also, the scan on your ship is almost completely useless. That is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, it does not mark anything that's down here. Yet it'll mark it from space. Which,
Yeah, but not on the planet. And oh, by the way, you should be able to program your scanners to look for plutonium or whatever it is you need. And
I'm just gonna leave at this point.
that's probably my biggest complaint about the game is that you can't easily discover what it is you need. Now, on the other hand, most resources are very abundant, so it's not a huge deal.
Right.
But when you start getting to the purple ones, or even something like nickel, I spent I don't know how long the other night looking for a pillar of nickel,
It's
and I
just
knew it
easier
was
to
on the
buy it.
planet because I remember finding it. Yeah, it's easier to buy it, but I was kind of broke at the time, so.
Man, this thing's still 42 seconds away. Kind of sorry I did this. I thought it was closer.
Well, you know, interplanetary and inter in 42 seconds is just too long.
As someone was apt to say, this is the ADD generation.
So, really the focus of this show, but have you talked at all about the refund issue?
No, so, and it's hard to know what's true.
Right.
So that's part of the reason that I really hadn't delved into it. There are some people who say they've gotten unconditional responses from Sony, Steam, and GOG for refunds on the game. But Steam actually placed a note on the game page saying that it adheres to their normal refunds policy. So if you've played more than a couple hours or had it number of days, then
14, more than 14.
Yeah, you're SOL. All right.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm guessing they had to put that up, one, because of the rumors, but two, I'm sure there was an over-exuberant customer service rep that went ahead and listened to this person's sob story and
Well,
gave them a refund outside of the policy for whatever reason.
Damn it. It's a column of nickel.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for the other day.
Yeah, which I will happily destroy, but is not what I am looking for. So this is what you spend a lot of time doing. You're like, oh, I need this, and I don't need this, but I want this, so I'm going to end up mining it.
And to answer that issue, there are apps out there that let you basically log your journey, and then you can at least know what planet you saw resource X on.
Well, yeah,
You may not know
I have that
where it
app.
is.
It's called a notebook. You know, or notepad
Yeah, they
on my
let you
phone.
do other things. Yes, yes.
But yeah. Well, I really wanted iridium, not nickel, so this is a little. Let's see if this one goes deep into
That's
the
nickel
ground.
too, I bet.
Oh yeah, this one goes a
Or
little bit into the ground. What
okay, I
else?
think I'm just catching up to the last nickel. It's weird talking about you and then the lag to the streams. I'm never
Yeah.
quite sure.
Let me see here really quickly what I need. I need zinc also. So I should probably scan around for that. Oh no, now it's saying I have everything but the zinc. So why am I even looking for iridium? You look like zinc. Give me zinc.
Little yellow flower.
Yep. Survey says zinc. So again, this is kind of what I was talking about, is that once you've seen it on one planet, you really have seen it on all the planets. The same resources are found pretty much on every planet. You may not find nickel, or you may not find emerald,
Gold or emerald.
yeah, or
Or
gold,
the purple ones. The purple ones are super rare.
but you will find something.
You'll find the stuff that you need to. You'll find iron. You'll find copper. You'll find plutonium. You'll find
See, and I have enough. I
oh
have enough to make antimatter now, so I will make antimatter. Do I have enough to make a couple? I do. Do I have enough to make 3? I do. Do I have enough
yeah.
to
That's another thing.
No.
Allowing you to be able to like make as many of these as I can button.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of making them one at a time.
The same with the conversations. You should be able to say, okay, I'm done talking to this alien, or just keep talking, because that whole animation to zoom in and out and in and out is very tiring after about the fourth word you're trying to learn from stupid frog bird person.
So I guess, Matt, as we're coming to the end of today's episode, would you recommend this to someone who's thinking about getting it? Would you advise them to wait, or would you say that it is not worth the purchase?
Uh, Oddly enough, as is my answer for most games, do your research. I happen to have about, I don't know, 20 some odd hours of streaming on my YouTube page that you could go and watch, that I would offer up for them to see, okay, this is basically what the game is. Here's what you want to do. I mean, if you enjoy resource management, if you enjoy actual I have enjoyed the crud out of finding out the story between the Viking and the Gek. I don't know why, but that whole learning their perspective on history, on how the history of the universe or the galaxy or whatever came to be, that I can't fly past the novelist. I have to land. It doesn't matter what I'm in the middle of doing. I have to land because I need the chunk of story. I don't know much about the Korvac at this point, so I don't really know. But you know, it's not for everyone. At this point in the game, I would be very cautious at recommending it to anyone that I didn't know pretty well, and what they would or wouldn't like. But again, you know, here, go watch some videos and try to stay away from the ones that are either overly negative or overly positive, because if you just got someone who's just, I can't believe I haven't run into a brontosaurus yet, or whatever, you know, it's gonna skew your perception of the game.
Oh, this is me dying again.
I lost the stream. What happened?
I don't know. It's still streaming for me.
No, I mean, why'd you die?
Oh, because I left the orbit and immediately flew into pirates, and there were 6 of them.
Oh, you know to use your mining lasers as phasers because they track, right?
Yes, and they
Okay.
did not die as quickly as they should have.
No, well, if they're coming straight at you, you should switch over to your pulse cannons because they'll do more damage and you basically can't miss. But if they're flying about, then you switch over to the mining lasers and they act like phasers and track and stuff. So,
Wait, is this an
But
anomaly?
anyway,
No, that's a space station. Just looks like an anomaly. Okay.
oh, you've only destroyed 5 starships. Wow, I'm up to like
No.
50 or something.
Do not like, do not want. I'm trying to find where my grave
Um,
is. That's not it.
it's on your radar if you
There
have.
it is.
It'll be on the radar at the top.
It's way over there.
Um,
I also really don't like the fact that you can't jump away from pirates. That you can't,
yeah.
because I do not want to fight pirates. I've never have. It's not fun for me in this game. It's not interesting. I just want to leave, and I can't because there are pirates in the vicinity.
Yeah, I've not pulsed away. I've boosted away, but they followed me on down to the planet. Was close enough to a planet I could enter the atmosphere, but they followed me down. I don't know. The space combat's not great, but I'm enjoying it. The more I get used to it, the more I figure it out. Basically, the main problem is if you don't have yellow element to heal your shields, you're done because
Which I
your
don't.
shields are going to go down.
Because I don't carry that around to fight.
Right. The
Okay, so now let's GTFO.
But yeah, the main thing I would say is it's a cautious yes. I think the game's going to change, like you said, greatly over the next year or two, and that will change how the recommendation goes. Right now, if anybody's looking to buy it, it's definitely a buyer beware situation. So.
I am. I personally.
So I guess the more important question right now. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the I guess the question I have in my mind more is, are you going to sell it?
I'm not.
As someone who's on the lower end of the liking of it.
And that's the interesting thing is I'm not going to sell it because I believe over time it will become the game that they wanted it to be. I think that this is a games as a service kind of game that will see radical changes to it. So I think we'll see different things come out of it. I do not think that this will look the same. And I do enjoy the gameplay loop. So that's the tough part for me, right? Is it's not like I hate this or anything along those lines. Because
I even have a hard time considering the game a failure because it I mean, we were talking about this the other day. It is probably a kind of an MVP, minimal viable product, a little bit project manager lingo in there.
Yeah.
Type offering, right? I mean, so in that respect, it's not a failure, but I understand why people are disappointed that it wasn't what was
It's
advertised.
definitely not what I expected or wanted. I'm not saying that what we got isn't entertaining to a point for me personally. Again, this is just my opinion. But I'm to the point now where I do not want to invest much more time into it. I want to get to the center and see what happens there. I just have a bad feeling that I already know what's going to happen, and I will be woefully disappointed.
So what? I missed it when you were in your star chart last. What galaxy are you in?
Galaxy.
Euclid galaxy. Yeah, okay, we're in the same galaxy then.
What I am not finding that I want to find are anomalies to jump farther.
So what do you when you do the anomalies, do you take the next Atlas path or do you take the black hole?
I normally take the black hole, and I should be doing the Atlas paths apparently.
It seems to be the only way to get Atlas stones, which,
It is,
as I understand, are very
Are
important.
Yes, which I only have one because I have taken the black holes every time.
So I've maxed out as high as I can with the recipes I have my warp So every jump from now on is going to be a max distance jump.
Oh, that's nice. I'm almost there. Oh, see, look, I'm just
that was
sitting
another.
here. I'm just sitting here and already they're coming for me. I'm like, come on.
Oh yeah, if you're just sitting around anywhere near capital ships, they'll come. You
Hey.
gotta stay
Oh,
away
that's a
from
space
them.
station. Damn it. Well, that's gonna do it for No Man's Sky. I'm gonna die again because there's 12 of them.
12. Holy cow!
There's not
I've never
12.
seen 12 before.
There's not 12, but and I can't
Okay.
get it to switch to my laser for whatever
Triangle.
reason. No, it's not
Or it's
working.
probably out of charge.
Or damage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to do it for No Man's Sky and Titanic Failure Tuesday. Join us tomorrow on Twitch. And thanks for joining us, for letting us wander through the stars with you. Let us know what we should play for next week's Titanic Failure Tuesday. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for our weekly wrap-up with Gamers Legend Podcast at 7 Pacific, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, right here on Twitch. And for Matt and myself, until next time, game on!
Game on.